What's your stance on pumpkin pie? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Is it a must for your Thanksgiving dinner? For me, I love it, and it wouldn't be Thanksgiving Day without the aroma of pumpkin pies drifting throughout the house from the oven. Now, we all know how stressful and time-consuming the holidays can be. If you're going to buy a store-bought pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving, that's good. If you're going to use canned pumpkin puree, that's good too. If you want to make your own pumpkin puree to use in your pumpkin pies, I'm going to show you how to do that in this video, so stick around. Now, this here is a sugar pumpkin, or a sugar pie pumpkin, or just a pie pumpkin, depending on where you are located. They are small, dense, and sweet, making them perfect for pie. And I went ahead and washed the skin with a little bit of baking soda and vinegar. Give it a nice pat down and dry it off. Then it's time to have some adult unsupervised fun. We're going to cut this thing open. In this part, you want to be extra careful, okay? I already have 6 stitches on one finger, and I don't want any more in any more of my fingers. And once your pumpkin is cut open, it is time to do that tedious process of scooping all of those guts out and all of those seeds out, which is really annoying because it's really slippery and hard to do. As you can see here, it's giving me a pretty hard time. I know some people use like the hand mixers with the beaters, and they sort of go in and just whip everything up and then scoop it out. But since I cut it in half this way, I was kind of worried if I did that, everything would kind of just go flying. Now, if you want to see what you could do with all these seeds, stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you how we're going to roast them. Now, with our pumpkin clean, deseeded, and cut into chunks, it's time to roast them. Place them onto a baking dish lined with aluminum foil. Now, we are not going to add any oil, avocado oil, olive oil, nothing like that to our pumpkin because that can affect the taste of your puree when it's done. So we're going to dry roast these in a preheated 350-degree oven. Now, these are pretty small, so I'm going to roast them for about 50 minutes. 25 minutes with the skin side down, and then I'm going to flip them and do another 25 minutes with the skin side up. After a total of 15 minutes, our pumpkin is ready to come out of the oven, and you can see that nice beautiful color that it got on top of the skin. Now I'm going to let these cool off for a little bit. Then it is time to scoop all that lovely pumpkin flesh out. Add all of your pumpkin flesh to a bowl, and this is what you should be left with, a big old bowl of pumpkin flesh. Not quite pumpkin puree just yet, but we're going to fix that. And to do just that, we're going to break out the old trusty food processor. Now my food processor is kind of small, but that's okay. That's okay. It still gets the job done just fine. But since it's kind of small, I'm going to work in small batches. So I'm going to add a little bit of my pumpkin at a time. Then we are going to pulse this until it is nice and, you know, puree-like. And I just want to point out, if it's a little too dry or thick, you can add some water. I would start out with about 1 teaspoon and then work your way up from there until you get the consistency that you like. Now this right here is perfect for me. So that's our puree. Now onto our pumpkin pie. So for one pie, you're going to want about 15 ounces of your pumpkin puree. And that right there is perfect. Close enough. To our pumpkin puree, we're going to add 1 15-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. After that, crack in 2 large eggs. Then it's time for our spices. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of ground ginger, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, half a teaspoon of salt, and for good measure, 1 teaspoon of pumpkin spice. Mix this all together really well. Then pour that into your pie crust. And yes, I am cheating today. I do have a pre-made frozen pie crust. Please forgive me. Anyway, then we are going to bake this in a preheated 425-degree oven for 15 minutes. Then lower that oven temperature to 350 degrees and continue cooking for another 35 to 40 minutes. After it comes out of that oven, transfer to a wire rack and let this cool completely. Then I like to chill my pies in the refrigerator overnight before serving the next day. Okay, I like my pie cold and firm like a handshake from your stepdad. And you already know what to do next. Top this with a little bit of whipped cream, a little pumpkin spice over the top, and enjoy. And that's it. That's our pumpkin pie. If you want to see how to make the roasted pumpkin seeds, I will put that video right now. If you don't, you can go ahead and end the video right here. I just want to say thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. So if you still have a big old bowl of those pumpkin seeds and guts, here's what you want to do next. Okay, you want to get all those pumpkin guts, anything orange out of there. Make sure they are thoroughly washed and cleaned. And just as important, you want to make sure these are thoroughly dry. Okay, any moisture will prevent them from browning properly, so go ahead and put down some paper towels, get them nice and dry. Spread them out nice and evenly. Go ahead and blot them with a paper towel. Do whatever you got to do to get these completely dry. Once your pumpkin seeds are completely dry, go ahead and add them to a large bowl. And now would be a good time to preheat that oven to 350 degrees. Now it would also be a good time to tell you that the full recipe, ingredients, and everything will be in the description below. And if you like what you see so far, hit the video with a thumbs up. Or if you're new around here or just not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It means a lot to me. You should now have a bowl filled with your clean, dried pumpkin seeds. So to your pumpkin seeds, we're going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil. For the seasonings, I'm not going to measure them out, but I'm going to do about 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/4 teaspoon of the following: paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and black pepper. We're going to give this a good mixing, the mixing it deserves. Then we're going down with a baking tray, aluminum foil, lightly greased. Pour your seeds right on. Spread those pepperoni tonis out so that they're in a nice even layer. This way they brown evenly and nicely. And with our oven preheated to 350 degrees, we are going to bake these for 15 minutes. Going in every 5 minutes and giving them a little toss to make sure that they brown evenly and nicely. And that's it. Your toasted pumpkin seeds are done. These things are literally so good. Once you eat one, you cannot stop.